Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the science fiction, action, adventure film, Kong, Skull Island. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. After a dogfight in 1944, American Hank Marlowe and Japanese Gunpei Ikari, two World War II fighter pilots, parachute into an island in the South Pacific and engage in close battle until the fight is stopped by a large monkey. The 1973 search for prehistoric monsters on the recently found Skull Island is planned by Bill Randa, the director of the American government organization Monarch. He finds anti-war photojournalist Mason Weaver, tracker and former British Special Air Service Captain James Conrad, and a U.S. Army squad led by Lieutenant Colonel Preston Packard. When Packard's team reaches Skull Island, they start dropping seismic bombs that Ronda's seismologist Houston Brooks produced in order to map the island and demonstrate Brooks's hollow Earth theory. The Big Ape attacks the unit after that, dispersing the survivors all across the island. Between the survivors, two groups form, one with Ronda and the other with Conrad, Weaver, Nieves, the researchers, and one of the soldiers. Packard looks for the cargo helicopter being flown by Major Jack Chapman with the intention of killing the ape with the weaponry on board. Conrad's party runs into an elderly Marlowe and some local Iwi people. A race of underground reptile animals known as skullcrawlers that were awoken from the bombing and responsible for murdering Kong's entire species, leaving him as the last of his kind, are among the predators that the enormous ape named Kong guards the island from. Marlowe informs the group about Kong and how he keeps the island safe from these predators. The Iwi think that after Kong passes away, a huge skullcrawler will emerge and devastate the island. Ikari and Marlowe had developed a friendship while living on the island, but Ikari was recently slain by a skullcrawler, according to Marlowe. Conrad's gang assists Marlowe in finishing a boat that was constructed from the wreckage of Marlowe's and Ikari's wrecked planes as Chapman is ambushed and devoured by a skullcrawler. To get in touch with Packard's group, they ride along the river when Nieves is torn apart by predatory birds. When they come back together, Packard insists on looking for Chapman. They follow Marlowe into a dinosaur and Kong family graveyard. Rhonda and others are slain in an attack by the skullcrawler that killed Chapman before Weaver sets off an explosion of combustible gas that ends its life. When Packard learns about Chapman's passing, he shares his plan to murder Kong and get revenge on his fallen soldiers. Marlowe and Brooks make an effort to convince Packard that killing Kong would result in the skullcrawlers going on the rampage, but Packard remains unreceptive. Packard's squad goes after the weaponry from Chapman's helicopter and sets up a trap for Kong at a nearby lake, while the civilian staff returns to the boat. Kong is introduced to Conrad and Weaver, who decide to save him after realizing how gentle he truly is. With the remaining seismic charges, Packard's team entices Kong, then disables him with lit napalm. After a standoff, Conrad, Weaver, and Marlowe convince the other soldiers to spare Kong, but Packard won't budge. The enormous skullcrawler emerges from the lake as the others flee, and Kong tramples Packard. Kong is fought and defeated by the skullcrawler, but in the end, the ape prevails with the assistance of the humans. Kong stoically observes as the survivors depart the island and arrive at the rendezvous place. Marlowe meets his son for the first time following the incident and reconciles with his wife. Sam Lin and Brooks convince Conrad and Weaver that Kong is not the only monster king in an after-credits scene, and they show them old film of cave paintings showing Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. Conrad and Weaver are detained and recruited by Monarch. The final picture features Godzilla and Ghidorah engaged in combat. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.